welcome the Governor of Colorado, Jared Polis. This is how legends are made.
Thank you. I didn't get to pick that walk-up music. They assigned it to me. Hey, thank you for the invitation to speak with you today. How many of you are visiting our great state of Colorado? Raise your hands. Let's give all of our visitors a great round of applause. And for those who are visiting, welcome to the most beautiful state in the country. We hope you get some time to explore while you're here. I'm sorry to say our ski season just ended last week, so you missed that. But please enjoy Denver, the mountains, and have a great time while you're here. And for those of you, most of you, of course, who are lucky enough to be Coloradans, we should all be so thankful every day to call this great place our home, and of course to welcome our friends and neighbors to our great state of Colorado. You know, when the invitation first came in, my staff thought it was from the Western Conservation Summit. And they said, you know, Gov, this will be a great chance to talk about your renewable energy plans and everything you're doing with solar and wind. And then they looked at it a little more closely and discovered it was going to be a different event. But regardless, you know, in this year of historic firsts, I'm, of course, honored to be the first elected Democrat to address the Western Conservative Summit here in Colorado. And Jeff Hunt and the Conservative Summit deserve credit for making the invitation. You know, when asked why I'm here, the very first part of that answer is, well, I was invited. And the second part is, it fit my schedule. You know, I'm here because when I was inaugurated, I really pledged to build a Colorado for all. And that's a Colorado that values everybody, where everybody has the chance to succeed, no matter where you live, no matter your background, no matter your faith, no matter who you voted for in the last election. And that means everyone. That means people who identify as conservative, as progressive, people who are apathetic altogether, everybody in between. We all share in this great state, because the truth is that we all have ideas to contribute to moving our state forward, and we all deserve to live a great Colorado life according to our own values and faith system. Like many of you, I'm a parent. Last summer, Marlon and I were having a conversation with our son, CJ, who was 6 at the time. Our daughter was 4. She just turned 5. Our son wanted to know, very curious young man, he wanted to know the difference between the different political parties. He said, what's a Democrat? What's a Republican? What's a Green? What's a Libertarian? What are these things? And at the end, when Marlon and I described a little bit about each party in objective terms as we could, he went over to his 4-year-old sister, Cora, and he said, what political party are you in? And Cora didn't miss a beat. She said, the Happy Birthday Party. And you know, as Coloradans, in many ways, we're all in the Happy Birthday Party because we are the Centennial state. The 100th anniversary of our independence, 1876, is when Colorado became a state in our great union. And we celebrate that independence every day. But you know, that experience with our son and daughter is really one of those moments that are so treasured that I think every parent can identify with and experience when your child shows wisdom that you don't often get from many adults. And it's a wisdom that tries to guide our approach to problem solving in this administration. What truly matters is not the letter next to your name or even your ideology. We all live our lives consistent with our values. What matters is, will our ideas and working together create a better path for Coloradans to realize their dreams? And we can, and we do work together. I was proud that this last legislative session here in Colorado, 96% of the bills that I signed were passed with bipartisan support. And our closest partner for full-day kindergarten here in Colorado was a conservative Republican representative from rural Colorado, Jim Wilson from Salida, a former superintendent himself. And in talking about kindergarten, you know, we made the decision early on to really talk about it in an inclusive way. I know that there's some here that don't send their kids to kindergarten, and that's your choice. I had run charter schools, and I had been on the State Board of Education here. And one thing that always frustrated me, I'm sure it frustrates many of you, is what we call unfunded mandates. It's when a higher level of government says, you do this, And by the way, we're not going to pay for it. And what that means to a school district, what that means to a school, if it's an unfunded mandate on a municipality, same concept, it means you have to not do something that you locally valued more because you are forced to align your resources with a priority of a higher level of government. And of course, instead of approaching kindergarten as an unfunded mandate, we did the exact opposite. We approached it as a funded non-mandate. Because kindergarten students will now be funded just like first graders, second grade, third graders, but nobody has to go to kindergarten. School districts don't have to provide it, but it's funded just like any other grade level. So by creating a funded non-mandate, we empower people and our school districts with choice to be able to prepare their kids for success. Because at the end of the day, we all want our children to be prepared for success and have a great education. Whatever choices you make as a parent, whether it's a district-run school, a charter school, a private school, a home school, you have the best interests of your child in mind. And we're working hard to reform our tax system, to make it more efficient. We cut taxes for 144,000 small businesses in Colorado, small retailers, and we're working to reduce tax breaks and tax giveaways and use that to reduce the income tax rate. And of course, we're not going to agree on everything. There are a number of bills nationally and here that we don't agree on, but overall, a 96% bipartisan record shows that while we should never gloss over the things that divide us, there's a lot more that unites us, including one of the themes of this convention, and that is the First Amendment of our Constitution. Colorado for All is certainly about more than just bills and words on a page. It's also about believing that we are one people, undivided, enjoying and celebrating our freedom. And one of the themes is protecting the First Amendment, which means protecting the free exchange of ideas. Because when we close ourselves off from discussion and debate, when we reject the possibility of hearing and understanding other perspectives, it threatens the fabric of our democracy. And we found that common cause before, just as we seek it now, because conservatives, progressives, people of all political stripes who believe in civil society and American values have stood together against Nazism, against Stalinism, and now must stand together against attempts to sacrifice our nation's ideals and betray who we are as a people. You know, how do we do this? It's not easy work. We do this by listening to one another and not just listening to sound bites and caricatures of one another. Another theme of this conference is defending religious freedom, a foundational American value. I owe my presence in this country to the promise of religious freedom. When my great-grandparents came to this country in the late 19th and early 20th century, they were fleeing situations in which their lives and livelihoods were in constant danger because their ethnic and religious identities rendered them second-class citizens subject to terror from the ruling regime. My family became proud Americans. We remain proud Americans, in no small part due to the fact that this country has religious freedom written into its very founding document, our Constitution. And in a country where we're taught that we're all created equal, no one should ever be treated like a second-class citizen because of what they believe or who they love or what they look like. And this is more important now than ever before. I want to close with a couple of thoughts on faith. My faith, the Jewish faith, is grounded in a concept called tikkun olam. It means repairing the world. It's really been a guiding principle in my life, in many ways what has driven me to public service. It's by no means a concept unique to the Jewish faith. Religions, including Christianity, are also grounded in doing good deeds and good works. And the Bible teaches us to love the stranger as we love ourselves. In Matthew 25:36, Jesus says that those who express their faith through good deeds will be welcomed into the kingdom of heaven. For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you cared for me. I was in prison and you visited me. These are the kinds of lessons that we take from our faith traditions. And we know that our state and our country is one that celebrates people of all faiths as well as people of no faith, and we're all part of our great fabric and diversity that makes our country great. And in many ways, those words from Matthew are the words that should guide our work as public servants. feeding the hungry, caring the sick, clothing the naked. These are teachings that show us how to have and live a righteous life. I hope that we are all courageous enough to take that path together where we can and respect one another where we have our differences. I'm deeply honored to have been invited to speak here today and to have accepted and to be able to greet you as the Governor of Colorado and make sure that everybody knows that our state of Colorado is big enough for all of us to live our lives according to our values in our great state. God bless the great state of Colorado, and God bless the United States of America.